All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. So, if you're tuning in for the first time, consider subscribing to our beautiful channel. As usual, hit that thumbs up and let's get into the video. So, Relentless, how in the world were you able to make $2,400 trading today in just a few hours of work? You were red Friday. You were red Thursday. How did you prepare over the weekend to bounce back and have a strong start to the week? What stocks did you trade? What patterns, what edges were you looking at, and how did you look to manage risk? Those are all the questions that we're going to address here in today's recap. So, as we're about to jump into it, let's take a quick look at our disclaimer, right? Our disclaimer, guys. We have to let the people know how it is. We have to be firm. I'm a very blunt guy, and I like to say it straight up. And so I'm going to say it very straight up here. Day trading, like any other business in the world, is risky. It has its pros and it has its cons. And you have to understand that if you're approaching the market and you're new, or even if you're someone who's been around the block a couple of times but you're not quite consistent, it's best to approach it in a low risk way. How can you do that? You can do that by using a simulator. Practice trading the live market with artificial currency, aka paper trading, which is what I did. It's also what a lot of other traders in the community do, and it's what we recommend to do here just to give yourself a safe start. All right. Lastly, you can use a small amount of cash, aka risk money. Do not use life savings, family savings, these type of things. Day trading is risky. Money can be made very quickly and can be lost just as quick. All right, where there's risk, there's reward. Where there's reward, there is risk. There's always two sides. Lastly, keep in mind the live streams and recaps are not an invitation to copy trade. There's a system that we're following, there's a strategy that we're following, and it's very intricate and detailed. You can't just say relentless traders watching this stock, I'm gonna go buy. That's ludicrous. That's madness. Quickest way to blow up an account. Other than that, keep in mind that there are fake relentless trader profiles popping up over social media, all social medias. Remember, I will never ask you for money and I will never message you first. All right, so stay safe out there. Do not get scammed. And with that being said, as we're looking pretty clean in the bucket hat here, the merch, let's jump into this beautiful recap. It's been a long time since I wore a hat like this on stream. But you guys know I'm a man of hats in class. So we do it all right? Is that straight? Okay, I think it's straight. I think we're good. Can't tell from this camera. Anyhows, let's jump into the stocks that we traded today. So as usual, like any other day, we're watching at the Momo Pro scanner. Shout out to Momo Pro, shout out to Brent and the entire team over there for designing this beautiful scan. This right here filters all the stocks in the entire market, 15,000 stocks, whatever the amount is, and narrows down the list for me in percentage order, volume, and shares outstanding, right? AKA float, the shares available for the public to trade. Guys, so stock JTAI was one of the ones that I traded, and we also traded another stock and did well, which was IONM, which I believe faded out. It was up on the list pretty highly, but came down. Macy's even made a bit of a move. I think they might have had earnings or something. But anyhow, we did trade this one, and we'll talk about the other one here. So, Relentless, what patterns, what setups did you look at, and how well did you manage risk? So JTAI, we're up 1100 on this one. IONM, which was the first stock we traded, we're also up 1100 on this one. And you can see that it was very aggressive. So as you guys know, when I started trading, we were in a very strong bull market, right? I think back in those days, Obama was the president, if I'm not mistaken. And, we had this market that was steady. And so I was so used to watching stocks go up, and I learned how to trade stocks that were going up, right? So in terms of pattern, right? So there's patterns and what we like to call edges, right? Price action movements, off of level 2, right? Which is this screen up here. But this thing, initially broke over the highs. Let's zoom out a little bit, get a bit more context going here. We had highs in pre-market at 65. This thing broke over the highs and absolutely took off. And in fact, we really had a consolidation at 62. So right over this level of 62, you can see the volume was ripping in and this thing was moving. And so break of 62 led to a push all the way to 70. And what we like to call the baby pullback. From that high of 70, we pull back here, low of 67, and continued move. So you guys will realize every single day it's almost like the same set of patterns reoccurring, the history repeating itself over and over. So Relentless, if you're buying the breakout here over 62, what are you looking for your risk? Well, there's two types of things I will consider, right? Two areas. One is either the break or bail immediately. Secondly would be the low of the consolidation, 57. 57, I felt like, hey man, there's a lot of distance in between my entry 62, 63 and that low 67. So once I'm in right here, if this thing isn't going right away in the moment where I think it's most likely to go, the trigger point, I'm out of there. So I jumped in, it moved up nicely, 70, it pulls back, and on the way down right here, we're noticing the volume slowing down to the sell side. So I'm buying, I'm in, it rips up again, 77, and right there we're holding shares into the halt. So look up a halt resumption if you don't know what it is. Right, when stocks are going up or down too quickly, even the entire market can be halted, right? But when stocks are going up or down too quickly, they can be, trading can be paused for a 5-minute interval or more, right? And I can pull up the video here and show you guys that I don't usually hold into halts. I don't think it's this one, hold on. It is this one. Yeah, I don't typically hold into like a halt because there's a lot of risk. But in this situation, I did. And it wasn't a bad move, right? So we got halted up. I'm holding 3,000 shares, which is not really a huge position, but still pretty decent. I'm holding 3,000 shares with an average of 73. We're halted up at 77. This thing is going to resume at 80. We push to 82. And I say, hey, you know what? That's enough for me to take the shares and lock in the gain. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do right there. So that was our halt resumption, right? This is, of course, the live recording that I upload to the classes every day for the students to check out, right? As they're studying, they can fast forward and rewind. So you guys can feel free to take a look at those links down below, all right? Merciless markets, because the markets can be merciless, right? We'll talk a little bit more here in a sec. So I'm in this move going up 3,000 size. I try for the dip right here, and I'm in a little higher at 80, but it pushes. I'm in, I'm out, and then it continues. I'm back in again, and it goes all the way to 95. At this point, I thought this thing was going to go to 120. But after this pullback, I was up 1,400, and I said, we got to be careful of this thing being finished. There's like the beginning of the move, and then there's the end of the move, or what is the beginning of the end, right? The front side area, the back side area, start, end, however you want to say it. This thing washed out completely. I mean, it's like a whole different stock you get right here, and you move forward. Just look at how this thing ended the day. And this is a perfect example as to why we must cut our losses tight, right? We must keep our losses tight. We must cut them quickly. The moment that we realize the trade is failing and that we have no business being in, we got to do what needs to be done. Cut the trade, man, because this is just crazy. Crazy flush out right here. Crazy flush out. So that's IONM. So we gave back a little bit here. $300, and then we said, hey, enough is enough. Let's be patient, wait for something else. And that something else was JTAI. initially on this move up, I was not looking to be aggressive. I wasn't really loving the stock. But sometimes it isn't really about loving the stock. It's about what the stock is giving and what you can take, right? What is the stock giving and what can you take, right? What can we get out of the market? The market is vast. The market is like the ocean. And if I can bring my little teaspoon and scoop up some water, if I can scoop up some water in my hand, if I can bring a bucket, better yet, and scoop up a big jug of water, hey, some people are going to show up to the beach with a crane, pickup truck with some sort of pump and suction device, So whatever we can use at our disposal to help scoop up water out of this market, scoop up gains, that's what we must do. Hold it in your hands if you have to. And then when you can afford something to carry more, that's what you do as you increase your risk, right? This stock was a little tricky. The price action was a little wild at times, but there were opportunities, right? Initially, a little, a little chop in the price action, but you can see right here, 3 bar play. The candle makes a new high below VWAP, it rips from 209 all the way to 240. That's a pretty big move. From 40, it dips to a low of 16. From 16, it bounces back up there to 25. Comes down again to VWAP 15, 16, and it's bouncing back up 34, 35. It's like stocks like this. I really gotta I still gotta do a better job adjusting my mentality, man, because whilst I know it's not the glamorous kind of stock I would want, there's still opportunities. And so for me, I gotta adjust the mindset. It's looking like it might break out here, honestly. I gotta adjust the mindset to, like, hey, recognize what it's giving and pay attention for that. Getting in on some of the pullback entries, the high of day pushes, breakouts weren't really working as well. So hey, just take what you're getting and just milk it, milk it, milk it. Instead of being super passive and hands, because I probably could have did like 2.5 on stock or maybe even more if I'm to be applying myself fully, you know. But yeah, we had some nice opportunities there. We broke down. And then if you're watching the breakdown here, higher lows leading into a bit of a flag slash wedge here. And then, over 211, it rips up to 23 and then 26. A little chop right here. So again, these are the areas you got to watch out for. And, for me, typically from having more than one or two losing trades, I want to back off in this type of area. When it pushes up, and again, right here, very difficult price action, but big drop below VWAP, rips back up. I felt like until we broke out over here, it's where it got a little bit better because we pushed up over the high and we got up there to 288. And from 288, let's see, what was the original high of day here? So we had a high of 40, and then on this wick we had a high of 60, and we had candles around the $50, 50 area. So yeah, we pulled back nicely into 50 after this push up there to 90, and it held up its levels. Again, this area here, this area and this area is basically the same if you ask me. This one had higher lows, but it comes down to, hey, when the stock is pulling back, are you paying attention, right? Because what do? We get some lows in here around 50, 53, 52, and there comes a place where there could be a potential entry, right? So we get over 63 on this candle and it pushes up to 71. I got involved right here once we had the dip because I wasn't watching this area, so I missed it. But once we got this drop down to 64, I'm involved in this area and then on the move back up 78. We got a red candle, a little bit of a tricky price action here, but we ultimately do get the new high because, again, 87 was a bit of resistance for us. Coming back into these highs over here, you can see how many topping wicks we kind of had in this area. So finally we got over 87, and when we did, it was good. Pushed up nicely, previous resistance became support, and this is a small bull flag. Held up the previous lows extremely well, and ripped up nicely. So from 87, we got up to 324. We pulled back to a low of 98 at the whole dollar of 3, ripped up again, ripped up, and this time we came down. We held 90 initially, And then we're the last area we had known resistance. And so from here, we curled up wonderfully, higher lows, curled up wonderfully, bit of a false breakout here, higher lows again around 90, curled up wonderfully, this time over the highs for another false breakout. Then it breaks down below our support and goes all the way to VWAP for the VWAP bounce. I almost took shares here, but wasn't aggressive enough. It got back above and then came right back down. And this for me is what I consider like backside stuff, but there's still opportunities here. I don't really trade this type of area. On the move up, I was trying to do some back end stuff, and I kind of looked at my level 2. I saw it at 3. I looked back again, I saw like 350. I'm like, geez, I should have been watching it when I saw 3. Because before this, I remember seeing it like, like down here. So being that I saw it at 3, I should have like took the time to like, like investigate. My charting wasn't pulled up or nothing. I just saw the level 2. By the time I came, I missed this big move. But throughout this kind of like zone here, I was able to get a little something something. I can't remember if I had trades on this side. Actually, yeah, I did. Right here, more so flat, and then right here on the way up, we got something. So quick flag right here as we made the new high over 31 and 35. We pushed up to 40 and then 80. So quick pullback and big move.
GMBLP.
This was the dip I almost took. I think it was this one. I was really watching this. I almost got long at 13, which is like the bottom tick. Probably would have gotten filled at 20. 1500 size. Didn't go for it. It got back all the way to 54. Should have took that trade. How are we looking right now? Well, not so good. It's not looking like we'll get that new high before the close. Or maybe. I mean, it's bottoming wick a little bit there. Well, yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the day here. It's a solid day. We're up $2,400. And we're looking forward to tomorrow. We're looking forward to more discipline and controlled trading. It's been 4 years since I've been emotional whilst trading, and we don't ever look forward to doing that again. We've eliminated and slayed those demons, and I have a lot of, we have to have. So I talk about how the market is a place to not have pride, right? Because, or an ego, let's say, but you can't have it in the wrong way. I think like if we're gonna ever be stubborn, we have to be stubborn on the side of righteousness. We have to be disciplined on the side of what's godly and what's the correct thing to do. And in this case, the correct thing to do for our sakes is to manage our risk as best as possible, to give ourselves the best odds, and to be as disciplined as possible ultimately. And so when it comes to any sort of ego or pride, that's where my, if you want to say pride is residing, that's where it's residing, right? That's where it's based in me always doing what's right. Always doing what's right at every time, every turn. And even if there's a day I slip up, we go right back to doing what's right the next moment. That's who we are. That's what it means to be disciplined here in the space. That's the type of level that's required. And we will do whatever is necessary to ensure success. With that being said, hit that thumbs up. It's been a great recap. We've looked over 2 stocks, JTAI and IONM. It's a solid day. We're looking forward to tomorrow, and we're looking forward to having an all green week. We haven't had an all green week in years, or okay, not years, weeks, right? It feels like years, but it's been a few weeks since we've had an all green week, and it's time we get back to the winning side of things, the consistent side of things. The market doesn't have a say, so we're hoping the market can stay consistent and can stay steady. We will have to do our job, which is to manage risk, and we can look forward to the opportunities. With that being said, check out those links down below, right? If you're someone who's looking to get involved here in the community, there's a couple ways you can do so, right? You can start by hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the YouTube channel. This is where I give free recaps and live streams every day. The live streams, they start around 9:15 a.m. You guys can check it out. Other than that, there's the chat room, right? There's the Relentless Trading chat room you guys can check out. This is where it goes down. The Relentless Trading chat room is where it goes down. You guys can feel free to check it out as well. There's a ton of different
GMBLP.
channels. But yeah, check it out, right? This is where it goes down, guys. Before, after, and doing live streams. Lastly, if you guys do want to get involved in the classes, you can check out MMU, which is Merciless Markets University. That is the day trading course that I offer. For anybody who is looking to get involved, it doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner or if you have some knowledge about the day trading, hyper scalping momentum strategy. But yeah, we go from zero to advanced. Wherever you are in the learning curve, we can assist you, right? We do not guarantee success because you can't guarantee anything in life. But what we can tell you is that we go about approaching the market in a very low risk way, safe and methodical way. We we love the fact that there are trading simulators and that you can practice with very low risk, right? We also preach, risk money, right? Things that I've mentioned in that disclaimer. We practice and we preach those things because ultimately that's what we've done and it's helped us to become successful, right? Marcelo, myself, Tim, and some of the other people in and around the community. All right, so you guys can check out MMU Gold and you can utilize coupon code DREAM for 50% off. All right, so Relentless, what is included, besides this beautiful, detailed, long course that you have here? As you guys can see that there's a ton of chapters, over 32 chapters, right? Guys, you get the ability to have access to myself and the other mentors, first and foremost. We are all verified six-figure traders, all right? Verified. We live stream and we're as transparent as it can be. There'll be people out in it, like let's say out around the community that will say things, but those people obviously haven't done any research because if they would take the time to look into us and investigate, they would realize quickly, holy smokes, these people are the real deal. We have nothing to hide. We understand that day trading is difficult and that we can have red days, we can have red months, we can even have a red year. But it's not about that, right? It's about the process. It's about the journey. It's about us being disciplined each. If I show up here and I'm disciplined every day for the whole year and I'm red, there's nothing to be upset about. It comes down to just being disciplined, and making adjustments. So, these are some of the things that are included. Of course, you'll have access to the Relentless Trading chat room, one-on-one mentorships, weekly Q&As. You'll have access to our scanners. You'll have low latency streaming via the Discord. And we talked about the live recording. You'll have access to, AKA archives, right? You'll have access to my recording, Marcelo's, and Tim's, right? And so there's different options here. You guys can feel free to get involved. Guys, it's been Relentless Trader. It's been a good day. I hope you guys had a disciplined day as well yourselves. I wait till the end to show this type of stuff because all the slackers, they flicked off the video in the first 5 seconds. Oh, this guy is green, okay, whatever. But all the people who really, want to learn, they're watching till the end. So, feel free to check it out, and I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green. It's been your favorite YouTuber, Relentless, and I'll see you guys soon. Bright and early, 9:15 a.m. tomorrow morning.